Ninjago Dragons Rising is going great so far. It's probably one of the best examples of refreshing a series and raising the stakes while even improving a lot of aspects about the original series. It ditched the 11-minute format, returning to the 22-minute format, giving stories a lot more time to breathe. There's an overarching plot getting you invested into the show as a whole rather than refreshing every single season. I know people will disagree, a certain group of people, but if Dragons Rising keeps this up, this will be better than the OG show. I mean it. But while Dragons Rising improves a lot of aspects about Ninjago, that doesn't mean it doesn't fall into familiar series traps. And I think one single scene in the show was probably the worst offense of a flaw present in the original show, while simultaneously leading to one of the best scenes in the entire series. But we aren't being positive. What do you think this is? Universal's care of fair use? Let me ask you something. What does Ninjago mean to you? Is it about balance? Is it about just awesome characters with cool villains and battles? Is it about just a bunch of cliches thrown together to extend the show's life and see how many people are dumb enough to stick with it? What? But whatever the show means to you, or even what it means to the writers of the show, there's only one thing that matters to LEGO: making LEGO sets. That is the entire point of this show's life. This is why, despite how many shows Ninjago has managed to outlive, nay, literal empires that Ninjago has outlived, it still is managing to kick. And it's so LEGO can convince you to buy a $100 Kohl's Titan Dragon mech set. I mean, what were you going to spend on that anyway? You don't need groceries this week. So because of that, no matter what the plot of a Ninjago season is, no matter which writer it is their sacred duty to absolutely shove that set into the plot and show off its features to make viewers want to buy it, and then to promptly forget about it in the next season because it's discontinued. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing in concept. I mean, if a show's mere existence helps a toy company stay afloat, even if you don't care about LEGO sets like I do, it's just something you have to put up with. And I'd say outside of a few examples, mostly minor, the show has managed this as well as it probably can. Then comes episode 15 of Dragons Rising Season 2, or as we call it in the trade, Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2 Episode 5. It comes off the heels of a great episode, after Jay and Nia meet up for the first time, which was a great confrontation. And this episode is indeed a good episode for that first half, with Wildfire having to fight Cinder, but lets her emotions get the better of her, which, while executed in kind of a weak manner with way too much exposition. Oh no, Lloyd tells Wildfire to not let her emotions get the better of her or else she'll lose the match. Oh no, she loses the match. I never saw that coming. Oh, the drama. After which, Cinder comes to rub the match in Wildfire's face to get a reaction out of her, in which he does this Oscar-worthy acting, and it takes so long for the ninja to catch on to what's going on. Lloyd, it's a setup. No, you think? In which the ninja are exiled from the games for bullying. But if Legends of Chima has taught me anything, as long as you're the main character of the show, no matter even if you want to make yourself accountable, you always get out of exile. The same happens here, which Zane calls out an Uno reverse card after studying the tournament rulebook. He calls out a rule that if someone is in exile, they can invoke a cavern run in which they beat the clock, their exile is purged. What? Look, I know I can't say too much, I mean I live in America after all, but doesn't that seem stupid? You can just do that? You can just do something so despicable, bad enough to get you an immediate exile from the tournament, but it's all forgiven if you can beat an overgrown dragonfly? Really? To make things even worse, the race isn't even that hard. It's mostly a breeze for a good half of it, and then the difficulty just randomly spikes. Well, I say spike, it's more like a hump. It's just a cave-in. It's just a bunch of rocks, bro. Can you guess this entire scene was just shoved in without much plot? Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because LEGO pointed a gun at Doc Wyatt to stuff this new vehicle that the design lab just came up with, and if he doesn't show set number 71820, Ninja Team Combo Vehicle, the whole LEGO company will shut down any second. All of this over a $90 set that doesn't even look that cool. Why do these tires look like that? And you couldn't have even threw in another wolf guy or give one of them a small bike? These guys are outnumbered both by Ninja ninja and by vehicle. This is by far one of the most laughable LEGO set inclusions I think I've ever seen. I could be wrong, but I seriously cannot think of a LEGO set that was shoved in this badly and so out of nowhere. Sure, 90% of them are just anticlimactically thrown in, but genuinely, I cannot think of a set inclusion this terrible and so forced in. However, there is actually another reason why this scene exists. Because while the other ninja are out clearing their names in the span of like 7 minutes, Lloyd advises Eren to poke around in Roz's quarters to see if he can find any clue as to what Roz is up to. Unlucky for Eren though, Roz happens to come back and catch him poking around. But instead of throwing him out or breaking his knees and using him as a hostage, Roz uses this as a chance to get into Eren's head. This was something that was building up throughout the season. Every time Roz and Eren seemed to be alone, Roz always seemed to treat Eren differently than the other ninja, with him telling Eren that he is no better than the first time they fought before, and that Eren needs a real master that can train him better. And the worst part is, he's kinda right. Lloyd is still trying to learn how to become a master on his own without Master Wu, and not to mention having to deal with the fate of the entire universe on his shoulders. Lloyd has been kinda slacking on training Eren and Sora. In fact, you could argue that he's been giving more attention to Sora this season, for good reason of course, with her being an elemental master and having to compete in the games, and not to mention taking way too much time doubting himself on becoming a master rather than actually being one. This comes right after Eren vocally showing frustration earlier in the episode about the status of finding his parents, about how something always seems to get in the way. It's obvious all of this is starting to take a toll on Eren, and when you're in that space, it's easy to get manipulated. When you're already questioning your faith in your leaders, maybe sometimes it's good to shed some truth.
And that truth will poison his mind.
Damn, that's a good line. That truth being an absolutely bone-chilling reveal. Something that was absolutely shocking, especially if you have been following the series for a while.
The merge was caused by Master Wu.
This was an absolutely shocking reveal. Not to only Eren, but us, the audience. We're just as confused as Eren, more probably. And you start to realize that earlier in the episode, a hint that was actually dropped right under our noses. Something I didn't even notice until after I watched the season again on Netflix, where Wu was surprised he was able to pull it off. He knows exactly what's going on here. And if Roz is right, he's more behind it than we thought. This is why I don't argue with the series is stretching things out with the story argument I keep seeing around Twitter. Because if we had gotten this reveal earlier in season 1, like the old show would have done, it wouldn't have been such a gruesome twist and reveal. And what makes it so gruesome is we still don't know why Master Wu caused the merge, or if Roz is even telling the full story or twisting the truth. And if that wasn't enough, a second bomb drops. Roz's evil master plan is actually wanting to reverse the merge, and he yet again poses another conundrum with Eren and us, the audience. Is that the wrong thing to do? Is Roz right in his actions? Is he not as bad as he seems?
Oh, I'm supposed to believe you're some kind of hero?
Well, I've done harsh things.
Of course, Roz obviously has something else up his sleeve here, something he's not telling us. But I really want to see where the storyline goes. And even that ending, purposely done to make Eren even more confused. Roz just turns his back on Eren after he's done talking to him, and he's just like,
You mean we're free to go?
You always were.
Man, this is such a good scene of events crafted so well out of great writing and storytelling. When I first saw this when the episodes leaked back in June, I was absolutely squirming watching this entire sequence, and actually still kinda am, even just remembering it and looking back at the footage. This scene goes into a future scene with Eren meeting up with Frak, who teaches him something about forcing the universe to give you what you want, rather than harmonizing yourself with it, which makes Eren perform Spinjitzu for the first time. Something that Lloyd was trying to teach him, but couldn't. And this all leads to the incredible season finale, Eren doing Spinjitzu in front of Lloyd, and the uncomfortable moment of him asking where he learned it, and he responds with a very cold,
Not from you.
and then the dreadful moment at the very end where Eren runs after Roz with Lloyd and Sora crying out for him to stop, but he doesn't.
No! I need him!
Eren, no! Wait!
Eren!
With the ending note of the season, Lloyd promising to Sora they'll find Eren, and Sora being honest and saying, what if he doesn't want to be found? Dragons Rising Season 2 was such a great season, with this being the highlight. I really love how they tended to play the stuff out with so much sincerity, not trying to keep the audience hopeful and not selling them on the fact that Eren will return to the team, just telling it how it is and really selling the moment. I just hope that all of this was worth the amount of build-up, and I'm super stoked for Season 3 next year. You have no idea. But that was it. That was simultaneously the worst and best episodes of Ninjago Dragons Rising. Funny how these two episodes were so balanced. Being so undeniably garbage with absolute gold underneath it. Was it intentional to play into the theme of the episode about light in the darkness? No, but that thought process goes hard though. So, what do you think about these moments? Do you think there's worse in Dragons Rising so far? Or better? Do you think the complaint of shoving in the set was pointless? Let me know down in the comments below. Oh, and this should be my final upload for the year, so I hope I ended it with a bang. Thanks for all the support y'all have given me throughout this year. I plan on making a video discussing how wild this channel absolutely got, so please stay tuned for that. It'll probably come out either at the end of this year or at the very beginning of next year, and if you have any questions relating to the channel you'd like me to answer in that video, please let me know. Thanks for watching and see you in 2025.